Again, I would like to call upon stage Mr. Ambarish Singh as a moderator for this panel, CISO at Godrej and Boyce. Mr. Singh is military veteran who is passionate about cybersecurity with lots of insights around building secure products for the country. More than 2 decades of experience in this field, he has worked almost in all domain of cybersecurity and implemented many more technologies during his various assignments. He strongly believes that cybersecurity is to be kept simple. Focus must be on building control around people. Process and technologies and cybersecurity team must be reachable to the users to help them in their cyber awareness. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the last panel session of the day. Kindly request you please give a big round of applause for Mr. Singh. Singh to please introduce other panelists. Thank you. Over to you.
Hello. Yeah. I'd like to call upon Pradipta Patro, Head IT and CISO, RPG Group. Stephen George, Vice President Enterprise Services, HSBC. Mayank Sharma, Senior Director Investment, IIFL. I think pre-lunch also, and we have been seeing in various discussion and individual presentation, cyber awareness is one of the key elements of the cybersecurity program. And I think if you read books and a lot of trainings, etc., you'll find the success of cybersecurity program mainly depend upon 3-4 elements, right? Help and support from top management, top leadership program. If you have the sponsorship from the top management, cybersecurity program will succeed. If it is driven by only CISO, cybersecurity initiative may get successful in 1 or 2, otherwise entire program will fail in long run. Second thing is in a lot of companies, right, the CISO has to manage the change. A lot of cybersecurity program failed because due to the ineffective, inappropriate, inadequate change management. And third is as I said, top management, the culture of the company. The top management set the tone of the culture of the company, how the company should react to it from all perspective, and the cybersecurity one of the element. So today we will discuss, we'll hear about what is the importance of cybersecurity awareness program, what the esteemed panelists are doing in their own organization, because we have from manufacturing, from finance, from the investment. So I think it's a good mix. To start with Pradipta, as a well-known manufacturing. So in your view, what you're doing to enhance the cyber awareness of all the users and effectively? And it's more important, how do you measure it? Because it's very important what we're doing, how do you measure that, whether doing good, bad, ugly, and what corrections we need to take to ensure that we are improving every day.
Yeah, thanks, Samras, and good evening to all. How many of you believe that still, the human being is the weakest link? How many of you believe? I think everybody, right? So what percentage of human error brings to the most cybersecurity incidents? What percentage? Okay, you are very close. Not 100%, to be honest. Nothing is ideal. So definitely people are doing good. So especially the CISO as well also doing good job. So we can't blame them 100%. Okay. In fact, if you see that 80% plus, that is what we are talking about. Most of the thing is due to human error or misconfigurations or neglecting the event, or might be that that what you get, incidents is happening, it is that initial stage. If you can come to know that this is that this is the incident or it is coming to the major way, so at least we can protect that faster. So that is where the human being, where we see that most of the events are happening due to them. So in fact, that cybersecurity awareness and training is crucial part of it, though we talk about people, process, and technology. And last but not, the culture is important. It is not like, people, okay, we can give them training and induction part of it, but that is not sufficient, right? As a financial guy, he may not be understanding what is the malware or ransomware or might be DDoS or password sparing or might be like, all those attacks are the way it is. They don't understand that much, right? So the point is, what is the thing we can give the awareness and training? It is not like, CISO's role, right? CISO's role might be facilitating those kind of cybersecurity awareness or training sessions, but it is like all like senior management, how they support those culture to build in the cybersecurity awareness culture, right? The way you see that professional culture at the organization, similarly, cybersecurity culture is also important. Everybody should understand that, okay, what is the thing you can bring into the thought, minimizing risk to the organization. Cyber is today, it is one of the top five, discussion point at the boardroom. Okay, so on that perspective, a lot of things, a lot of investments are happening. If you talk about today, or might be it is predicted that 2023 we will be having around 219 crores kind of $1 billion investment is coming today. But that is a business we can talk about, cybersecurity. And cybersecurity awareness is also crucial part. It is not the technology and services. My earlier discussion, we had the data protection and data classification and all. But that is not enough unless until we are the awareness and training, which has been conducted effectively. As rightly said, that not the check the box. We do the lot of organization. We have seen that it is all check to the box, right? If something is coming, okay, we have to complete one quarter cybersecurity awareness training. Just you can conduct certain phishing kind of simulations, and we see that result, and then we stop it, right? So that is where it is check the box. But how effectively we are going to implement the cybersecurity awareness and training? There are different ways we can do it. That is, one is you are definitely the phishing simulations and giving you that 5,000 Amazon gift card, or might be that IT, or you have that appraisal cycle is coming now in month of March and April. So why don't you fill up all of your details, right? So that is where it is most of the trap. On the IT income tax return, you might be got a lot of money out of that. So those are things we can do that. That is just very, very old way of doing the awareness. Apart from that, what we can do is also that you have place some of the gamifications, right? You can play certain gamification where we can put some videos there, then we can see that how many people have understood that in that particular scenario and that particular situation, how they behave it. So on that, we can give the training to them. The third is the face-to-face training again. And most importantly, there is no time or there is no information, okay, we are implementing cybersecurity phishing simulation, please identify the phishing. That is not the way to start training, right? It should be all surprise. It is more of the surprise you can give them and that way, and collect those information regularly. It is not once in a year we do the training sessions. How many of doing in the training session once in a year? Nobody's done that once in a year, right? It is a continuous process. Every month or every quarter, every a day we have to do those training. Or secondly, most important point is, if something has happened, you don't hide it. Publish it the way it is so that other people can understand from that situations. It happens to most of the organization. The phishing is the most effective or most best way to the compromising your systems, or compromising your data leakage, or compromising your complete network. Right? So we need to focus more into the phishing, the social networks, and the mobile. The way today it is happening in the WhatsApp group, your senior management photo will be there, displayed there, and saying that please pay urgently certain money, or click this link to update your details, few details, right? So those are very common now. So it will be more sophisticated in the social networking side. So that is where it is. And effectively how you measure is, of course, while you do repeatedly, some of the defaulters are there, you can put them in the KRA. Simple. If people are phishing for more than three times, then 5% of his KRA is gone. Okay? That way we can measure it. Otherwise, no way we can measure that, effectiveness we can measure, because you have how many people faced in the first phase of phishing, or might the phishing or smishing. There are 3 ways we can do that. On that perspective, then we can talk about how many times we have done the simulation and what is the repeated defaulters. If 3 times it defaulted, one is that like, put the KRA minus 5%. And second is like, you can penalize them as well if it's organization permits it. And third is like, you see that like, face-to-face training to them, coach them or bring them onto like, the table, give them rigorous like, training to them. So that is where like, you can improve that organization cybersecurity awareness and awareness. And also the way you said that it have to build the culture of it. Yeah, thanks.
Yeah, I think, Pradipta, you brought out 3-4 key points. One is the help and support from top management, is very important. Second thing you talked about, we need to use stick and carrot both methods to achieve the overall aim of the cyber awareness program. You need to reward, you need to, sometimes if some people are getting fished time and again, repeated, they are going to be very risky zone. We need to probably take a special care of them. Third thing you talked about, how to effectively measure. The phishing is one of the, I think, one of the most used method of looking at the awareness, how the awareness program is doing well or not. But you can innovate yourself by looking at your organization. And then fourth thing you talked about, gamify the awareness program, how you can make it very interesting. People look at it, a lot of organizations look at cybersecurity as a very dry subject. How to make it interesting. So one element probably I practice is make the awareness program is part, ensure that they understand, employee understand that if you are cyber aware, it is going to help you personally. Because phishing attack, the OTP frauds, people are losing money, left, right, and center. And they can make their family aware, their wife, children, etc. Because today, everyone is exposed to the digital world. Okay. Moving on to next. Stephen, your views, because large fintech company, and probably you'll have your own way of educating people, importance of the cybersecurity awareness program, importance of the cybersecurity itself, because every industry, every organization, even industry organization, importance of cybersecurity program is different, maturity is different. So can you throw some lights based on your experience?
So cybersecurity in banking and finance is very complex, okay? So that's all I can say. Now, when it comes to managing the cybersecurity in the banking, so the laundry list is common for all. You take any industry, any domain, the risks are the same. But the key focus areas that I have seen evolving in the last 3, 4, 5 years is, one is the key aspect is security by design. Anything that we are developing, security has to be a part of the component in the planning itself, okay? So that is one of the key focus area. Second is how we manage our third-party vendors, how we manage our third-party components, devices, and services that we use, and how we educate them, onboard them into our system. Just to give you an example, we had challenges with availability of some of the SI partners. So we told them, we are paying you, so get a backup. So they are okay to give us a backup, but what about the accesses? And the moment we put an access, then it ties down. He's not part of the payroll system, so how do we need an access for it? So just an example. Third thing is, in banking and finance, what I've seen is we are rampantly using APIs nowadays, okay? And while they are for the ease of our operations day to day, we have to secure our APIs also which are there in the system. That is very important. And that is the third focus area that we look at. And the fourth and the final is how we leverage AI, ML, and analytics in our cybersecurity curriculums so that people use and analyze the data as quickly as possible. With the advent of this AI, ML, the focus on training has changed completely because they help us to be proactive in identifying the threats, one. And second is, it helps us analyze large set of data so that we have the decision points to make and address those. So that's the key.
Yeah, I think different perspective, as you rightly said. Cybersecurity issues, challenges to every organization. If we talk about every industry, if you compare 80% the same. One is the last 20%, 50% changes because you are in different business. Okay. Yeah, Mayank, coming to you, I think Pradipta touched upon the phishing is the most abused channel because I was some point of time, I was on other side of the world, attackers' viewpoint. So today, network side attack is not happening, right? It's not possible because everyone has firewall, at next generation firewall, etc. So client-side attack. A client-side attack is the most abused is the phishing, right? Because and they do blast phishing, like spear phishing hardly we see, but phishing, they send 1,000 emails, they know the success rate is maybe 2%, 1%. That is what they're looking at. So in your organization, in your opinion, how to handle this? Because everyone is having this issue.
So, good afternoon, everybody. I think right from winning lotteries from Nigeria to London to your top management asking for money, all of us in the last couple of years have gone through a phishing to a different level now. So earlier it was restricted towards emails and then phones, and now even on WhatsApp also, or even the payment links and so on and so forth. I think as an organizational level, and as for individual also, an organization with a huge retail setup and manpower like us, we stick to the basics of constantly, training our manpower, having a very clear guidelines to them, and then ensuring that the new kind of phishings, like somebody was saying, like how by training, or training has to be a continuous process. So we have our weekly updates going on to across our team members, what are new kind of phishing has been seen across the industry, so on and so forth. So I think clear communication, clear policies, and constantly updating our workforce on the ground also, that ensuring that, these are the things which is happening currently, and please stay away. And apart from that, we do try to have our own, we do from our Intel systems also, we do send couple of emails which looks as good as phishing to see how many of them respond to that. And then we do their training and, mentoring that these are not supposed to be, though it looks very catchy, so on and so forth. So I think most of the organizations, which even from my friend from HSBC also told that it has to be a continuous process while we grow towards there. And I think we also, apart from following the basics on a timely, disciplined manner, I don't think there is much which you can do. So, for example, those are subject matter experts. They understand the nitty-gritty of what new can be done. But somebody on the ground, let's say 1,000 kilometers away at a small rural location, for him to understand all this, we have to go down to very basic level and make him understand that. So I think, yeah, that's it from my side.
Yeah, I think what you talked about is make it contextual and have clarity on what employees you want users to do, and communicate well, over-communicate, right? Otherwise, what happens is you send email 6 months back, do's and don'ts, and then you expect everyone to follow because they've got their own priorities. Somebody working marketing, somebody is manufacturing floor, somebody is looking at category, catalog, etc. So our aim has to be how to embed our priorities into their priorities. So once you understand your ecosystem well, then only we'll be able to do it. So coming back to Pradipta, I think we keep sending emails, right? E-module, everyone has. In your view, what is the right way of sending those, and what is the frequency? Because you don't want to bombard users with so many emails, and somebody say, okay, why don't you do e-module every quarterly, right? Somebody say, why so many emails are coming from cybersecurity? Two different views. What is the right balance?
See, there is no right balance you can talk about. It is like, it is depend upon the organizations. Today, if you talk about, you should not be overburdening the users, and that relevance will be go down, and their, the interest will go down. So we have to make all interestingly. We have to do that all, whether it is a poster or e-modules, what you talk about. Every corporate is having e-learning, but nobody goes to the e-learning and learn anything from that. That is always there. So how you can motivate them? If you can connect with them the personal life, right? Say today, if you connect with them like in a personal life, the way we can have it is a WhatsApp or SMS or the certain link which is there, it is already happening. So we can give certain examples, or the world, what are the incidents are happening across. If you can give the relevance to that particular piece, then they can correlate, and they wanted to take that up as that is become a motivation for them. It is not like, you can always sending, every day you are sending a poster for password. Again, they will keep the password like, same 14 letters, but the password at the rate 12345. You match everything, P is capital, right? So this is what is happening. So that is not your training or awareness. Then how difficult that password is, or how difficult we can make the attackers, or might be like, the external world difficult for you to getting into. Today, if you talk about everybody's like, if the LinkedIn is hacked, or we have what is that, one of food, I forgot the name, they hacked all the details, yeah? That is Jubilant, yeah, that is hacked. This team, like, a lot of data are still there. If you can see the same password people use in their corporate domain ID, same password they're keeping into there. If you go to, like, website today also, you'll get the same password are lying. Simple password, their son's name or their dear's names at the rate 123 or their date of birth. Simple. So is that the awareness we are bringing to the table? No. So that is where we need to correlate with them and give them evidence, like, a fact that this is what is impacting heavily, not today. It's not happening to you, but it may happen tomorrow, never know. So today, the human psychology, we think that other house is burning, so that is not mine, right? So that is where the problem is. So it may happen to you another time. So that is where the time matters. So we need to educate on that perspective and take the context, not only the relevant, and check the box. If that intention is clear and you have motivate users or employee or third party to learn for their own purpose, not for company or organization. Organization is one part of it, but their whole life and their friends and their colleagues and their family, they are saving the on those perspective. Even the kids today, you talk about the cybersecurity for kids. And today, if you open, everything is accessing through your tab, mobile, everything, right? That one click, kids will be getting into that world where everything is exposed, right? So we need to, how we can educate them. That is, we have to correlate all those aspects. Then only it will be motivated, and not to overload the informations. It will be no relevant after few times or few period or few months. Yeah, thanks.
Yes, I think contextual is the key. And based on your organizational, your users, what kind of business you are, you decide the frequency. Because you need to have you want to have you get to grab the eyes of the users. Once you send an email, they should be interested to see you. Okay, something has come from cybersecurity or infosec. There must be something, they're going to learn something. If you have that confidence, probably you will solve 50-60% of the problem. Okay. Mayank, coming back to you, you know that digital transformation in this digital world, right? Everyone is adopting various technologies. So for the cybersecurity team to drive everything, maybe awareness may not be possible, right? And will not be successful also. That's why we drive a theme like cybersecurity or information security is everyone's responsibility. In your opinion, how the business can play a role to ensure that their respective users are cyber aware? So that ultimately, suppose you have large organizations, every BU is accountable for their data, right? We are trying to, as a CISO, we are trying to figure out how to protect, bring visibility to them. What is the risk? What is the risk of operating a business? Okay. So what is your view on this?
So I think organizations of any scale, especially on larger setups, I think A is clear communication. B, it has to be a user-friendly feature also. Like the users, you have to develop your cybersecurity features, let's say two-factor authentication, right? It has to be user-friendly in terms of it is easily accessible. And more the way the technologies are getting developed, if we have a user-friendly feature which is understood by people from all stratas, then I think so for example, how business can influence that is, so business can always get there when they speak to their team about the regular trainings, intervals, and there should be a part of their ongoing reviews also. And in the terms of that, this is how the future problems in the world will look like. So suppose, for example, banks are concerned, right? Or even in right now, as you see in BFSI, there was recently an incident, and there's incidents keep on happening across also. So I think as a country also, this is the biggest problem what we are facing it right now. And as far as businesses are concerned, I think they have to be constantly be updated with their team, clear communication with them, and user-friendly features can help them to at least gain the market share, sorry, not mind share of people towards cybersecurity. And I think more or less people, all of us, I don't know, but I have been duped once. So I think if people have been duped once, they realize it, okay, what to do and what not to do. They're fortunate enough who have not been duped yet, and I hope they should not. But I think people do learn it from also, and there are innovative ways. Like we don't know, like for example, recently, like almost a couple of months back, where somebody was telling that your superman, like a super boss or a chairman of the company sends you a WhatsApp, buy me an Amazon card or transfer this money to so and these are new ones. This was never there. So you don't know what is happening also. So I think constant training, clear guidelines, and business has to be part of that, because end of the day it is their P&L which is going to get hit. It is their profitability which is going to be. So all the CFOs and all the CXOs, they all need to understand that this is not an only IT job. This is not an only one department thing. This is going to hit the entire company. This is going to hit the entire reputational risk for the entire group, company, everything. So I think business has to be a major part or a major stakeholder in this.
Yeah, I think a key point is how to get a mind share along with the time share. That is important. Otherwise, somebody reading an email, if he is doing something else or just reading and passing, probably he gave some time, but he did not give a mind share. That is important. So right attention to the cybersecurity program, awareness program. And yeah, Stephen, coming back to you, how do you measure because you must be doing a lot of awareness initiative. How do you measure the success of the program? And how do you ensure that probably you're able to take a course corrective actions based on that?
So this is very important topic, how do you measure the effectiveness of trainings? Now in banking sector, we have quarterly mandatory trainings to be done, and assessment is only completed once you clear that 80% of score. But the key aspect I feel is our employees or our partners should be taught that business data is equivalent to your personal data. Please treat it that way. If that mindset you have, then I think the success is there. And the cyber security mindset has to be always there on top of the work that you are doing every point in time. And we have to create that kind of an environment. Now, coming back to the point, how are we going to measure the effectiveness of the cyber security training that has been given to the team? Okay, so we need to have that robust process in place which encompasses the performance scores, the verifications, the post course surveys, and their feedbacks, and incorporating all those feedbacks and see what is useful and what is not. That is very important. Then only the effectiveness of the cyber training that we have conducted will be successful. For banks, there is no compromise. But then generally what happens is we only realize the failure of the training when the event has occurred. But now it has to be the other way around, and that's how we are moving on. So there is one example I wanted to share. Last year in December, we flashed one survey. Not a survey, we sent out. So this year, you guys have done so it was a personalized, dear Stephen, you have done a great job this year. A thank you note, not a voucher, gift card, no cash, nothing. It was a phishing email. And it was in the month of December. Boom. Don't ask me the scores. And trainings, everyone did. Assessments were done. Everything was on track. So what was the outcome? Outcome was, it was an year end. The moment I get a thank you mail for my work, I need to check what is there in that thank you mail. I didn't even bother to see, it was an English name. So I'm thinking I might have worked with him somewhere. And then we realized, this is what is. So December, my performance timings are there and I've got an assessment mail. Now that is what has occurred. So it's very important how we inculcate those training programs, how we do the timing of the surveys and the phishing emails, which is relevant to the organization. So that is very important. So that's all from me.
I think nice example. So I think we have a few minutes. We can take on some questions if anybody has.
You can ask or we can ask you on questions. Sorry, lighter note.
The results are really as you.
I gave them airport also.
Exactly. So just around the events or the timing, as you mentioning, is very, very appropriate.
No, so even sometimes nobody came to know.
Right.
I got phone call, Vice President, hey, मैं डाल दिया क्या हो
No, this awareness is always top to bottom. It is not like, it is
Exactly.
in the
It's not
lower
related.
side of or higher side. If it higher side compromise, then majority impact will be high.
The senior management is more hurry to do
Yeah,
the things.
CXO and the team who's does like in a lot of financial transactions and all, that is most important. They have to learn
Right.
better. It is not only that that officers in the ground level, they have to learn the things. Because a lot of new tricks are coming up nowadays. It is not only that traditional way, only Amazon gift is not. Everybody knows now Amazon gift.
Yeah.
So nobody is going to click. Amazon is not giving everything free. Yeah.
Thanks for the session. You all are from the great companies and big companies. But I have seen that if suppose one of the case that the turnover of the company is 100 CR and they have done the wrong payment to 10 CR to one of the companies in Thailand and somewhere else. And the management of the company is, क्योंकि छोटी company है, they thought that the cyber security, somebody is going to pitch that on email ID, you have to put the OTP and something like that. After that, they are going to pay 5 CR again. Okay, that means hacker is going to come and they are going to take, even they have printed the letterhead and everything and all. So what is in your experience that for the smaller companies, how we are going to convince them that you have to put a proper cyber security in your company? If the turnover of the company is 100 CR, or they are doing the export, they have the manpower of 50 or 60, even those who are paying, that machine is hacked by somebody else in Thailand and somewhere else. So what is your experience that for the smaller companies, how we are going to convince that we have to put a proper cyber security?
To be honest, I'll take this one. See, the point is not a small or big. See, the 100 crores company can become like, 1,000 crore company. In that, the journey will be, they have started. So cybersecurity is not everything you can build, or you can invest like, 20% or 30% of that, like, nobody does. Even the organization like 40,000 crores or it's more than 10,000 users are like, users, they don't invest also 10% of it to their revenue. Okay. So in that perspective, you talk about, there is a gradual process, right? On that perspective, cybersecurity should be always paramount, and everybody knows. All this promoter or CEO, everybody knows now. One click is a symphony of their all money and their reputations. Or that person who is the smaller company definitely tie up with some of their, they are servicing to some of the other larger company, right? So the larger company is also interested, like, how my third parties, or how many my partners are secure. It is like, push to the smaller company as well to maintain some minimal standard, especially that MFA part you are talking about, or the nature of business, what they are doing. If they are doing, you might be knowing that one of the bank has the similar issue happened, third party has leaked their data, large chunk of data, right? So on that perspective, if you look, everybody should, whether it's smaller or bigger, everybody should have to have some control in place for their businesses. And if you talk about application access, identity and access management, that is also key. And that simple thing is the password, that identity and access management is the simple to start. Because it is not like, encryptions, then like, you can talk about DLP, you can talk about web security gateway or CASB, cloud security, a lot of technologies are around. But start from the small with the basic requirement. Because today we can talk about your foundation are right, we are done with this. Almost all like, 50-70% you are done. The foundation is, you are not recertifying your user access itself. The administrator is having all PNE, password never expires. Okay, so these are the small things like, you can take controls, then you are at least safe on that perspective. And to be honest, smaller or bigger, the CEO or promoter, they knows their cybersecurity is a key. And it is always highlighted, and a lot of incidents are happening across across the world. Every day you will see the newspaper that there is some hack. Even today, if you talk about the Sudan case, unemployment Sudan is already attacked few of our police sites in India. There is not accessible at all. Okay, so this is the thing is happening. And every single incident is happening within 39 seconds. If you are today here, within 39 seconds, one incident is happening in the globe. Somewhere in the globe. Means 39 seconds, one incident is happening across the globe. Major or small, you may not be talking about the colonial pipeline kind of, or might be solar wind kind of scenarios, but however we can talk about the smaller incidents are every day it is happening. Talk about manufacturing, health industry, or might be VFSI industry. Every day something other thing is happening. Okay, so that is the perspective, but as rightly said, yes, there should be a baseline to start with minimum, whatever the control it is, then we can move on to the larger perspective of for better posture of cybersecurity side of it. Thank you.
Yeah, I like what Pradipta said. This is no more an option today. It's a survival, right? A smaller company also, they know if they get breached, reputation is at stake, and their business will go for toss. Second thing is a lot of regulatory frameworks also has come up and are going to come to ensure that even in startups, smaller companies take cybersecurity seriously. They're not expecting that they should have, as Pradipta said, matured in the day one itself, but they should have reasonable security control as per their priority. I think no more questions. Time is also up. So to summarize, I think key takeaways, I think, is right top management support, contextual awareness program, use all the measures, all the what are the ammunition you have to educate your employees and ensure that you understand your users well and you're able to put your thoughts across, as Mayank talked about, mind share, right? That's how you success will have. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Ladies and gentlemen, please give a big round of applause to our moderator and other panelists. Mr. Rakesh Dwivedi to felicitate our panelist and moderator. George, Vice President, Enterprise Service, HSBC. Ladies and gentlemen, please give a big round of applause. Thank you so much. And now I would like to request, please felicitate Mr. Patro. Lastly, I would like to request, please felicitate Mr. Mayank Sharma, Senior Director Investment, IIFL. Please give a big round of applause, ladies and gentlemen.